Good afternoon. It's December 20th, the fourth Sunday in the Advent season. And we're getting very, very close to Christmas. And I don't know about the rest of you, but when I lived on my own before I was a priest, one of the things that I like to do with the nativity scene is I had the nativity scene all set up, and you know, on December 25th, the Christ child would finally appear. But my nativity scene had the shepherds over in one corner of the room, and it had the wise men over on the east side coming towards. And in my mind, it was this whole idea of a journey, right? The angels appeared to the shepherds came to the stable, and the wise men, they followed the star from the east. And so there's a sense of pilgrimage there. And in today's readings, we have the angel Gabriel appearing to Mary and setting her on a journey, her pilgrimage to the cross. The angel Gabriel makes her this great promise of, your son is going to be the King of Kings, he's going to be living forever, all of this beautiful stuff. But the angel Gabriel didn't tell her about the downside. The fact that she would struggle, that she would be concerned, that she would worry for her son. All of those negatives were left out. The pluses are all there, but the negatives, for some reason, are left out. But Mary is able to accept them all because she's on a pilgrimage. She's on a journey. And a pilgrimage is an act of transformation. I've led a number of pilgrimages over the years and also taken young people to World Youth Day. And one of the things that I always find is the transformation that takes place in people. And oftentimes it's through the struggles, the difficulties, that we find our greatest strength. Because that's when we turn to God instead of turning to each other or self. One of the beautiful things about heading off on World Youth Day is watching kids be there for each other, but specifically willing to pray for each other. I can't carry your pack for you, but I'm going to pray that you have the strength to do it. Different things happen. On a pilgrimage, it's the same way. The very first World Youth Day I went to, we arrived in Rome, are getting ready to set out for our time in the parish, and I had no luggage. All I had was my backpack and a change of clothes in my backpack, which didn't do well for 6 days. But on the other hand, it taught me a very, very important lesson about how the fact that I can travel with a lot less than I think I need to travel with. The very first pilgrimage I took a group of people on to Europe was the same kind of thing. We get there and for some reason half my mass kit is missing. And I must admit I never did get that half of the mass kit back, but I was able to survive because you know what? Almost everywhere in the world has bread, and everywhere in the world has wine. And so we were able to make do with unleavened bread and wine. Because for some reason, what went missing was the wine and the bread. So we found unleavened bread and we found wine and we celebrated the Mass. And it was quite good. We had a couple of days where we weren't in churches, where we had to make do on our own, and we did. And it's quite amazing how that all works out. You're on a pilgrimage. But it also challenged me on understanding, trusting God, all will be well. Things will unfold. And that's what Mary had to deal with. When they lost Jesus in the temple, she was worried, she was concerned. And her son kind of reminded her that I'm in my Father's house. I am about my Father's business. When Jesus went to the cross, Mary stood there at the foot of the cross, and she wept, as any mother would. But also, she wasn't bitter about it. We see nothing in the scriptures telling us that she was angry. We see nothing in the scriptures telling us that she was bitter. She forgave in the same manner that Christ forgave us. That Christ is willing to forgive us each and every day, if we put our trust in Him, if we are repentant, if we desire to transform our lives. We're down to the final days before Christmas. the celebration of the incarnation of Christ. God comes to earth for our salvation. He comes to earth and he offers us the greatest gift of all. And what is he looking for from us? He's looking for love. Love one another as I have loved you. And he laid down his life and he died for us. This is the beginnings and the ends of this great mystery. And he loved us so much that he died for us. Let us rejoice always in the Lord. Let us prepare ourselves to rejoice greatly at Christmas time. It will be a different Christmas for most of us. There will not be those family gatherings. There will not be running around to the neighbors. But still, we can celebrate. We can rejoice. We can rejoice always in the Lord. May you all have a very, very blessed and wonderful Christmas. And as you prepare these final days, try not to get too overwhelmed. Yes, the gifts will have to be wrapped. Yes, things still have to be baked. Things still have to be cooked. But with peace, with love, with tenderness, with kindness, all will be well. Trust in the Lord. Trust in the Lord always.